From where did they get this fella? 6/10 is what he had on the rest of the field. The other 19 best drivers in the world, 6/10. F1 is nothing if not a sport decided on fine margins. But this dude, Maximilian Verstappen, 3 soon-to-be 4-time champion, makes the others look like they're in reverse. A 153.159. Oh, the humanity. What are we doing here? Where did they get this chap from? And this on the back of all of the rancor and acrimony, all of the chaos and criticism. Oh, he shouldn't be swearing over the radio, et al. Why is he up at 3 a.m. in the morning, the day of the race? This dude is a crash merchant. Crash must happen, they called him. Well, what are they saying now? When this dude yet again, makes the rest look like they are in reverse. And these aren't shabby. The drivers aren't flotsam and jetsam. Checo Perez is driving the same car for Pete's sake and can't get within 6/10. Charles Leclerc is an absolute speed merchant, the quickest A to B, some may say. 6/10 shy of Maximilian Verstappen again. I can't compute it. Help me round this F1 square. It makes no sense. Again, we understand it thus that Maximilian Verstappen loves to swim in some changeable condition waters. And again, the goatiest ones do that. Please see Senna, please see Schumacher, all of whom are Regenmeisters. More recently, Sir Lewis Hamilton makes the wet look like dry. The goatiest ones can do that. Why? Because of their innate feel. This separates them from the rest because they don't have it. There is no training that. This is nature and not nurture anymore. But yet again, Max Verstappen makes it look so bloody easy, doesn't he? And this thing that he's doing is not. Driving changeable conditions on Inters is always very techy. Please see Checo Perez, last race for Pete's sake. Yuki Tsunoda too, who spent more time in the barrier than they did on the black stuff. But yet again, this dude, 6/10 quicker than the rest. And what are the naysayers going to say now? This is what I want to hear. The Max Verstappen detractors, what tree do they bark up now? What are they going to say? They can't say adversity. They can't call him an Adrian Newey merchant because that chap's not there anymore. You can't even say that he needs the quickest car because we've seen already that McLaren now, as at July 2024, they are the ones who have the quickest car. I expected fully Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri to be the fastest qualifier today. So too did the odds makers. Lando Norris was the favourite for once evens, 50% chance of being the fastest qualifier. Oh, the humanity. Oscar Piastri too was favoured over one Maximilian Verstappen. But again, Maximilian Verstappen makes impossible things look very, very easy. How do you like your Formula One? How I like it is to see sporting endeavours, the uppermost reaches of. And again, this isn't his first rodeo, is it, Max Verstappen? And I don't want to come on here and do Max Verstappen soliloquy every time, but he forces my bloody hand. 6/10. Look, in the very recent history, please see Jeddah, Sector 1, Sector 2. Yeah, he stacked it, but Sector 1, Sector 2 is one of the greatest F1 things that I've ever seen in my life. The symbiosis of man and machine, the upper echelons of sporting endeavour in any sport. Please see Suzuka a couple of years ago, described by Karun Chandak, that qualifying lap as looking like it was a simulation. Dude makes no bloody mistakes. He drives like he's a robot and he's a human being, or is he? And again, many people have described him as driving like an alien because unforced errors are something, in quali at least, that this chap doesn't make. This differentiates him from the other 19 on the grid, and to the tune of 6/10 yet again. I don't understand it. I'm through with this. This is absolutely bonkers. Charles Leclerc, Checo Perez, none of them can even get close. Checo Perez put brand new fresh Inters on with a view to have a crack at the 3 soon to be 4-time champion and got Nowhere close. 6/10, that's more than half a second. I'm reminded of the great one, Senna at Monaco, where no one again could get close to him. People say that the parallels between Max Verstappen and drivers of yesteryear are Schumacher. I would argue and counter them this way. It's not Schumacher. Schumacher wasn't quick enough. It's Ayrton Senna. That's who the comparison was with. Because that dude's speed, just like Maximilian Verstappen's, is scary. It's spine tingling. After I jump off this, I can't wait to go and watch the onboard back to back to back, to pull at threads, to try and understand what he's doing, the steering inputs, the throttle inputs, how he short corners. How is he doing this V corner? The geometric racing line. I need to try and understand what this dude is doing that means he's 6/10 different from everybody else. And again, the broader context is really important to understand. Thursday, there were kumbaya talks, right? Peace talks between GP, Christian Horner, Dr. Helmut Marko, and one Maximilian Verstappen. It's techie over there at Red Bull. So what I don't want to hear is anybody telling me that this dude is a benefactor of the dominant Red Bull, because they are not dominant anymore. There is a lack of harmony over there. Christian Horner dislikes Helmut Marko. Yeah, they can smile and kiki for the camera, but they don't like each other. So too, Jos Verstappen, not the biggest fan of Christian Horner, is he? This is table settings, but important to factor into this Red Bull equation. Again, the Max Verstappen naysayers will say, yeah, he's the benefactor. He's done all this because of Red Bull, not despite. And that's wrong. He does all of this 6/10, by the way, on the rest of the field, despite what's going on at Red Bull, not because of. You heard that chap's frustration over the radio, effing and blinding, expletive central, was it, at Hungary? Again, he hasn't looked fantastic. He didn't cover himself in glory, did he, at Hungary? Oh, the dominance era has ended. Has it? Fudge. Just look at that dude. And again, he needs to take himself an engine penalty, right? He will start 11th tomorrow. But on the back of that form, if indeed it's changeable conditions, as it may well be tomorrow for the race on Sunday, who's going to back against that dude Maximilian Verstappen, overtaking the other 10 drivers in front of him, if indeed that pace is something that he can translate to Sunday? Nobody. You would be stupid too were you a betting man. What are we doing? For the race Sunday, however, in all probability it will be dry. Again, changeable conditions will no longer be the equaliser. Maximilian Verstappen being the Regenmeister, Lewis, Carl, Davidson, Hamilton too, won't be able to leverage that. But yet and still, I put it to you thus. Would you still back against Max Verstappen overturning that deficit in the form that he's in? If he's got 6/10 in hand on the rest of the field, like he's done in previous seasons, it wouldn't take him too long to usurp the lot of them and find himself on the top step of the podium yet again. I say all that to say this. Here's the upshot from Spa Grand Prix qualifying. If you want to beat Maximilian Verstappen over the course of 24 races, it's not going to be easy. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, Charles Leclerc, even Sir Lewis, Carl Davidson, Hamilton, although he can attest to this because you've had an experience of it already in 2021. You're going to need stuff, God tier levels of commitment, pace, consistency, a team behind you that operate at the highest level with consistency under pressure. McLaren have showed already that they don't have half of the aforementioned, and that's why it's so difficult. Fortuitous circumstances too, a level of steel and commitment and resilience that sadly the young pups that are Lando Norris, Oscar Jack Piastri, Charles Leclerc just don't have in the requisite amounts. That's my story and I'm sticking to it, but I digress.